Hello everyone, welcome back to this section, and in this section we'll be exploring strings, which is a data type, the variable type that stores texts in Python. We have seen me using this data type in one or two codes that we have written previously, but in this section we'll be exploring string deeper and making expository on things, on methods that we can use with string, we can call with string objects. Let's go into our Python editor to explore strings in Python. So let's start to look at string in Python. First thing, how do we create string in Python? Let's quickly check the Python documentation for string. There are three ways they highlight here that you can create string. That's what they call the constructors. You can create string by converting other data types to string. This is the first one. For example, if you have an integer, let's say number, if I have number 1 2 3, I can actually convert. If you look at this number, let's see, print type number, you will see that this number is an integer type. I can actually convert this number to string type. Let's say number is equal to string number, and so if I check the number again, it will change to string type. You can see this is now becoming string type. So this is a way to create a string variable in Python. This is the way to create a string variable in Python. The second one I will look at, I will not talk about this. The second one I'll talk about is the literal syntax. The literal syntax is just assigning a value, assigning a string value to variable. So I can say my string is equal to Tunji. So I have just created a string literals here, and if I run this and I check the type, print type my string, you will see that this is a string variable. These are the most common two ways where you can create your string variables. So what can we do with string variables? Before I go there, I can just say it's not only a single line string that you can create. We can create a multi-line string, multi-line string variable. Multi-line string variable can be, for example, you have this text assigned to a multi-line string variable. So you can see how you will create this with these three single quotes in the beginning and at the end. So you can create a string variable with this, and also if you use a single quote to create a single line variable like this, Bobby, this is also a valid way to create a string variable. So you have seen how you can create a simple string variables and a multi-line string variable, and also these constructs that we use to take input from user. For example, name, you can say input what is your name. You've shown this in some of the codes that we have written earlier. You can collect values from user. I can say my name is Adetunji. If I enter this, that means Adetunji has been stored to the variable name. Adetunji has been stored to the variable name, and this is a string. Let's check the type, and this is a string. So I want to say that this input construct actually collects data from user as a string, and you have seen it's the way we use this input construct to actually collect integers and floats and evaluation, which gives us either integer and float from user, and we simply use this conversion to actually collect these values from user in integer format. So in this case, we want to collect something like what is your age? So this will collect an integer value because it has converted the string to an integer. It converts the string to an integer. We have seen up there too that you can convert an integer to a string, and you can see as we have, if we have number, like I said, number which is 1 2 3 can be converted to a string number which is a string number. So similarly, we can convert a string to an integer or a float. So that's what we do here when we collect a string value and we convert it to an integer. The difference is that this string value that we want to convert to an integer must be convertible to an integer. You have something like this can be converted to an integer, like we have 33 can be converted to an integer, but if you have something like 3a, this cannot be converted to an integer, and it will throw an error if you try to convert such values to an integer or a float. So that's quick one about that. Let's move on. So one thing I've shown you before is the operators. There is the addition operators work on string, and it is called concatenation. Let me mark this down. Concatenation. So if you want to use the addition operator on string, so if you want to use the addition operator on string, we call it concatenation. So let's look at how it works. I've done this as an example. I think if you have first name, let's say first name is John and last name is Bruce, you can call the full name as the concatenation of the first name, let's say with a gap, and the last name. So if you run this and I think we missed the spelling of last name. If you run this and you print the full name, you can see that these have concatenate John and Bruce, and even concatenate the space between them to give us the full name. So addition operator works on string as a concatenator. So if you have something like this num string, let's say this is equal to 2, and you have another num string 2 which is equal to 2, you can see that these values are in string. If you look at these values, they are string because we have quoted them. So if you add these together, let's say we have num3 which is num string 1 plus num string 2, and we print the value in num string 3. So if you look at this, you have, instead of in an arithmetic, assuming those values are string, you are integers, you have the value 4, but because they are string, they are being concatenated rather than being added. So if you remove this code and you convert these values to integer and you run this, you have the right value for integer addition, which is 4. So the previous one did concatenate the 2 with the 2 because they are both string, and the second one add the 2 with the 2 because they are integers. So we can use the concept to create beautiful things in string. Let's for example see, if you have print this character, if I want it to be printed in 5 times, I'll just multiply it by 5, and you can see it prints 5 times. If I want to print A in 5 times, you can see, and I can print this 17 times, you can see. So this use of operators on string can be applied to actually create something more interesting in your program. Let's see, for example, this I used this operator. I multiplied this star character by 18, and using this manipulation I'm able to create something like this. So let's see, there are other ways you can actually explore string. For example, you can iterate through string, like we have looked at for loop. If you have a string, let's say I have a string value now, my string is equal to you are welcome, or just let's say welcome. So you can iterate through each character in the string with for loop, just like a list, which we'll look at next. So let's say for character in my string, let's print character. So if you do this, you can see we have been able to take each character in the string and actually print them out. For example, you can use this to say, okay, how many vowels do we have in the string? If C equals to A, or C equals to O, or C equals to E, or C equals to U. I want to print C. So any vowel in the word should be printed. Let's see. So we have three vowels in this word. So this is an application of this, a simple way you can use it, but as a logical error here. For example, we have this welcome as capital welcome, and we run this. It will not print any vowel because we didn't capture the capital we didn't capture capital letters of the vowel here. So we can continue. There are better ways to do this, but I just want to show you this way. You can continue to say or to capture the capital, and with this you will be able to capture even the capital A-E-O-U. So this is a brief way to apply this. You can actually count the number of vowels that we have. Let's say count is initialized to 0, and when you encounter any vowel in the character of the string, you can just say count plus 1. So here we can print the count of character, print count. So you can print the number of vowel that you have. You can see the number of vowel you have is 3. So this is a simple application of and a way to iterate through characters within a string value. Another thing I want to show you is indexing. Let's talk about indexing. So indexing is a concept to tell you that string can be the characters in a string can actually be accessed through their index. For example, I have S, which is Python, so I can actually print the character. The first character in this S is the character at index 0, the character at index 0, and if I print this, Python should be a string character, a string value. So you can see that the first index is P. If I put 1, which is the second index, is Y. So you can actually access the characters in a string by their index. So the index of a string character starts from 0 to the length of the string minus 1. The index starts from 0 to the length of the string minus 1. If we look at the length of this string now, you can see that the length of the string is equal to 6, and if you want to access the last character of the string, is going to be the index minus 1, which is 5. That's going to be the last character in the string, which is obviously n. So indexing, if you use 6, which is the length of the string, it says, it will tell you the string is out of index. So the last index is the length of the string minus 1. So that's another way to access the character within a string, by using the index, So with that index in context. So another construct that I want to show you here, which we can use to manipulate our strings, is the slicing construct. This is slicing construct. Let's declare a string with the following characters to see how this works. So here we have S2 with the following characters. The first construct I want to show you, let's say S2 to column 5. So this will extract from character 2, from character in index 2 to character in index 5 exclusive, so 5 minus 1. So it takes character in index 2, it takes character in index 3, character in index 4. So here you will see the output will be the character in index 2 is C, the in index 3 is D, and the index 4 is E. So the next one, S2 column 5, here this will take characters from index 0 to index 5 minus 1. So you have A, B, C, D, A, B, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, E. That will be the output of this. So it takes character from index 0 to index 5 minus 1. So you have A, B, C, D, E. So let's see what this next one, S2 5, and the remaining. So this starts from character index 5 minus 1. So that's character index 4, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it starts from E. It doesn't take E, so it starts from E. So the remaining character, which is F, G, H, I, J, will be returned. The remaining characters will be returned. So the next one is S2 column minus 2. So this will start from the last character, which is J, and it takes the last two character, which is JI. So now IJ. So and let's look at the last now second to the last one. Now S2 column, this actually returns a copy of the whole string. So and the last but not the least, S2, this looks a bit clumsy. 1 column 9 column 3. What this does is that it starts from index 1, which is 0 1, which is B, and counts including B 1 2 3. It takes B first, counts 1 2 3. The next one it takes is E, and it counts from E 1 2 3. The next one it takes is H, and it counts from H 1 2 3, reaching the end, which is 9. It counts to 9. So that does. So let's print and see. You can see the first one returns C D E, the second one A B C D E, the third one F G H I, the next one I J, the last two characters. The second to the last one returns the whole string, a copy of the whole string, and this counts in 3 to from 0 to 1 to 9. It counts in 3 and pick the first characters B, E, H. So that is the concept of slicing. That's the concept of slicing, and I've shown you can actually iterate through a string using the for loop. For character in S2, you can actually print the C. That's concept of working with string. So other things I want us to look at in the string about string is string methods. Let's quickly look at this string methods. So Python provided, because string is a class in Python. We'll still look at this when we get to object-oriented concepts. So string is a class provided for us in Python, and it has methods that we can call. For example, let's assume we have a string that I call Scotland, and we can convert this Scotland to all lowercase using this lower method in Python string class, and we can also convert this to all uppercase. We can also replace character within the string. We can replace characters, or we can get sub character within this string. For example, let's say I want to anywhere that you see Scott in the string with ink, right? And let's see, anything missing? Yeah, complete this, print again. We can use count to count the number of a particular character within the string. Let's count the number of A that we have in that string Also, we can use print dot index to actually get the index of a particular character in the string. Let's say we want to get the index of C in that string. And lastly, we can use S is alpha, which return all characters in the string that is a letter. So it returns all characters in the string that is a letter. So let's look at this output. What output that this constructs will give for us. Let's see what's the problem. Is alpha is an alphabet. So all the characters it returns the so let's start from the first one. The first one says return this string in a lowercase. All of the Scotland is in lowercase. The second one, return the string in uppercase. All of it is in uppercase. The third one, replace this construct Scott and the construct Scott with ink, the sub character which is Scott, sub string within the string which is Scott, it's replace it with ink. So you can see how Scotland now becomes England here. So here we want to count the number of A's in the string, which is A, and we want to count here, we want to count the number of C, which is also 1. We want to ask here if all the characters in the string is alphabet. If I add 2 to this Scotland and I run this will become false because not all the character in the string is alphabet. You can use this construct to test a lot of things in your program. If you understand that they exist, you can use it to manipulate and do a lot of manipulations within your program. So here you convert lower method convert all the string character to lower, upper method convert all the string character to uppercase, and you can use replace to replace sub string within a string or even a character within a string, and you can use count to count the number of characters with a particular character within a string, and you can use index method to actually get the index of a character within a string. You can see index of C is 1 0 1. So and this alphabet, it tells you if true, if all the characters within a string is alphabet. You can see that it is false now when we add 2 to string. So if we return this, you can see it is true, and it says all the characters within the string is alphabet. All the characters within the string are alphabet. Let's try to use this to make our program, this program that we write here, to make it more efficient. So instead of having to actually get all this, the first uppercase and the first lowercase before we can count both the uppercase and lowercase of our vowel, we can just remove this. And when we iterate through the characters in our string, we first of all convert, we check for this. C is equal to C dot lowercase. So even if the character is in uppercase, first of all convert it to lowercase, and we can actually capture the vowels in our string even if they are upper or lower. So if you don't put this, it will not count the uppercase. It will give us 0 number of vowels. But now we are able to count the number of vowels by making sure that every character that we capture within the string is first of all converted to lowercase. Then we can now say check for only the lowercase instead of adding to check for both lowercase and uppercase of a character. So this makes our coding, the code that we did previously, it makes it more efficient as we reduce the number of codes that we need to write. So there is another construct which is capitalized. For example, if we say print my string dot capitalize, this only capitalize the first letter of the string. Instead of changing everything to uppercase. So also we might want to say, okay, let's say we want to get a number from user input, enter a number, enter a number. So in this case we want a number, but you know that this will be taken as an int, as a string first, because we didn't convert it to integer. We can say if num dot is digit, print it is a valid number, else we can say print it is not a valid number. So this check if what the user enter are digits. Let's assume we have 1 2 3 This is not a valid number, but let's assume we have 3 4 5. It is a valid number. So it checks whatever the user enters, that it is going to be convertible to a digit. So this might be useful for you to ensure that the user enters something that can be converted to a string. Then you can now say num is equal to that can be converted to integer. Then you can now say num is equal to integer num. So else, let's say if it is a number, then you can convert it to num. Let's say my num is equal to integer my num is equal to integer then num. So it's only when this is convertible to a number that this happens. So it's a valid number. But if it is not, then instead of going an error, it tells you it is not a valid number. If we didn't put this and we say we should convert everything to a valid number, if you run this out here and we say 234a, it will throw an error because it's eventually come out of this if statement and try to convert 234a to a valid number. But if you put this inside the if statement, that only if it's a valid number, you can say if we 23a, so it doesn't get to this, because it doesn't get to the if because it's not all digits. So it tells you it's not a valid number. This is a way to actually validate your user input. Is a way to validate your user input. So another thing I want you to quickly show you lastly is the escape character. Escape character. So if you want to print, let's say we want an S3 string, we want to print this is so you can say this is not working well. So if you run this, we can print this S3, right? Because we use the first quoting here and the last quoting here is different from here. Let's assume we have this and we have this. This will not work well because this quotation is the same. You can use this escape character to tell the interpreter that these two are just quotation, and it will now work as before. So these two, we have used this escape character to escape this as a quotation for as a quotation for a string literal. So you can also use escape character to actually tell the interpreter that this is going to be in the next line. You can use this to show that this is going to be in the next line. If you run this, you can see working well goes to the next line. So this is an escape character that takes this is going to be in the next line. So for now, this is all I want us to explore with string, which has given us an open our eyes to things and construct that we can use to manipulate a string. So in the next section, we'll be exploring another related construct and exploring it better and deeper, which I have shown you before. This is list in Python. We'll look at how list and strings are a bit related and see how we can manipulate a list in our program. Before then, let's continue to explore.